You saw what happened in Las Vegas and you felt it in your bones. That old mix of surprise and hope when a single move actually looks like the missing piece. When Kenny Clark, OSA, and Quinn Williams lined up together, somebody in that broadcast booth joked out loud and it stuck. COW, cute, but the nickname barely scratches the surface of what that trio delivered. Let's be blunt, Quinn's first full-on look in a Cowboys uniform changed the game plan for the Raiders and, frankly, it changed how you can imagine the rest of the season. He finished with 1.5 sacks, 7 pressures, and 5 QB hits, and those numbers came in only the first half. Think about that. He was a disruption machine before halftime, and he only played about half the snaps. If you're the kind of fan who loves numbers as much as heat checks, PFF crowned OSA and Williams as the 2 highest graded D linemen that week. OSA posted a 90.6 and Williams a 90.2. They were feasting on one-on-one opportunities because Quinn was drawing doubles and forcing attention. That's how you manufacture chaos. A singular star causes a ripple effect. Jerry Jones said afterward it was our best game of the year across the board. And that's not hyperbole coming from the owner. When the boss says it, you notice. You also heard the teammates, Doc bragging, younger guys talking about how he's how you do it, and you could see the spark. This wasn't just a good day, it looked like a blueprint for how the Cowboys can rebuild this defense into a physical, matchup-winning front. Now, I don't want to oversell it. The Raiders aren't the Eagles, and the context matters, but if you watched the tape you saw 3 things happen at once. Quinn bull rushed and collapsed protection. He forced doubles which opened lanes for OSA and Kenny Clark, and the rotation gave fresh bodies the chance to finish plays. Donovan and James Houston turned those lanes into tackles for loss and a sack. The board read for total sacks for Dallas that day. Quick question for you. Do you think Quinn will keep this pace as he gets more snaps and more comfortable? Drop a yes or no in the comments. If you want deeper X's and O's on exactly how the coaches are moving him around, inside, outside, bullying guards or standing up on the edge, tell me in the comments and I'll do the film breakdown next. One more thing before we move on. If you're enjoying this kind of breakdown and want more roster, rotation, and matchup videos, hit that like button and help us hit our channel goal. We're pushing to 17,000 subscribers, and every subscription actually helps us do more of this content for you. Alright, next up, I'm going to walk you through the coach's toolbox, the packages and rotations that made this combination work, and the ways they can ramp Quinn up without burning him out. What we just saw in Las Vegas wasn't luck, it was coaching plus pieces that fit, and that combo is what I want to walk you through now. Start with the simplest coach-friendly truth. When one disruptive player draws doubled attention, the math on the rest of the front changes instantly. Quinn's ability to demand a double team on more than half of his reps opened one-on-one matchups for OSA and Kenny Clark, and you saw the result: pressures, hits, tackles for loss. But the coaches didn't just leave him in the middle and hope for the best. They used him like a Swiss Army knife. He's athletic enough to slide outside on occasion, which means the staff can create mismatches where a guard suddenly has to block a 303-pound bull with edge speed, or a tackle has to handle a penetrating interior attacker. That flexibility lets Eberflus and the defensive staff design packages that blur the lines between inside and edge rushers, and the rotation keeps those bodies fresh to finish plays late in drives. The get-off speed detail is important. Next-gen tracking showed Quinn's explosion out of his stance was comparable to some of the league's fastest interior rushers in that game. That quickness is what lets him convert power into penetration before the pocket can set. From a schematic view, there are 3 practical packages I want you to picture. First, the 3DT heavy set where you play OSA, Clark and Quinn together to win the trench battle and collapse inside. That's your run stuffing, shotgun disrupting look. Second, the spread look where Quinn slides outside as an edge threat while Clark holds the interior, creating speed to power mismatches. And third, the sub-rotation blitz packages, where you bring James Houston or Donovan off the edge while Quinnen occupies blockers up the middle, freeing the second-level guys to shoot gaps. Each of those packages does different things. One wins short yardage and power situations, another creates pass rush lanes, the third creates confusion and stunt opportunities. The salary cap reality the transcript mentioned is actually a football. Benefit here, you've got 3 high-end players who can demand snaps, but smart rotation keeps them effective and avoids burnout. Play Quinnen situationally and with purpose, get maximum disruptive value, and let the other to sustain pressure when needed. You also saw the knock-on effects. Younger linemen and linebackers played with more confidence because the interior collapse gave them clearer paths to the ball. Practically, that's how the coaches turn a star acquisition into team-wide improvement. Quick interaction for you. Which package would you rather see more often? The full 3DT smash look, or Quinnen moving outside as a pseudo-edge rusher? Type 3DT or Quinnen outside in the comments. If you want a full slow-motion, play-by-play X's and O's breakdown where I show exact alignments and stunt windows, smash that like button and let me know. I'll break it down on camera next. Also, don't forget to subscribe and help push us towards 17,000 subscribers so I can keep making more tactical breakdowns like this for you. Everything we just talked about matters most when the opponent brings one of the nastiest, ugliest tools in football right now, the tush push. It's still legal, it's still effective, and Philly has leaned on it in short yardage time and again. The good news for you as a Cowboys fan is that everything that made Las Vegas look different, interior power, quick penetration, and the ability to force doubles, is exactly what gives Dallas its best shot at stopping the shove. Let me break this down for you in plain terms. The tush push succeeds when the offense can get low leverage, get bodies moving in sync, and reach the line before the defense can generate enough penetration to break the surge. The counter is simple in concept and hard in practice. Create disruption before the shove builds momentum. That's where Quinnen's quick get-off and Clark Ose's one-on-one wins become critical. If one of those 3 blows a gap early, the push starts to fold because the center or guard can't create a stable platform to drive off of. You also saw an officiating angle in Detroit. Stops on the push often come down to penalties at the line. If refs are crisp about false starts and offside alignment, the play loses its consistency. The offense can't execute the shove if they're getting flagged or backed up. Now, I know some of you hate the idea of banning it. It's messy, but it's football for a reason, and others want it gone because it looks like a freight train that's hard to police. Quick poll for you, should the NFL ban the tush push? Type a one-word answer in the comments, ban or keep. Also tell me in a short sentence why. From a schematic perspective, the Cowboys have to realistic paths on game day. First, make the center and guards think twice about getting low by forcing immediate penetration on early downs when the gaps and you make the shove unreliable. Second, on obvious short yardage downs, change personnel and technique. Bring heavier interior pressure, play tighter gap discipline, and keep linebackers on the edge ready to anchor and meet the surge instead of floating to second-level responsibilities. Those linebackers have to be physical at the point, attack the hips, get inside hand placement, and refuse to be moved. Stunts and delayed blitzes can also neutralize the timing. If you loop a defender into the gap the push wants to use, the shove's timing is disrupted and the ball carrier or blocker has to adjust. It's not pretty, but ugly plays get stopped with uglier technique. One other practical note, discipline matters. The Cowboys cannot cheat down the line. They must stay square, play gap integrity, and trust when to take on contact and when to shoot a lane. That's why rotation matters too. Fresher, more explosive bodies are better at punching through and ruining the push before it builds. Final quick vote to stoke the comments. Do you trust the officials to call the push consistently? Yes or no? Say yes or no below. If you want a dedicated breakdown of every possible technique Dallas should use to stop the push, down to who takes which gap on 3rd and 1, hit like and let me know. I'll script a full clinic. And of course, if this video is giving you value, subscribe and help push us toward 16,000 subscribers so I can keep bringing you this deeper tactical stuff. This is where the early returns turn into something that actually matters for the locker room and for the fan base, the kind of thing that changes how teammates play and how a team thinks about itself. You heard Quinn say, "I don't think one guy can change anything. It's the team," and that modest line matters because it signals buy-in. He's talented enough to alter blocking schemes, but he's framing his arrival as a collective lift, not a solo rescue mission. That's exactly the tone you want when a new star walks into a room, high-level talent plus low-key humility, and you could see it ripple through the young linemen and the rest of that defensive group. Doc was already praising him after just meeting him, and younger guys were saying, "That's how you do it," which tells you the vibe in the building is shifting from "we'll see" to "let's get to work." Culture often follows success. And what we watched in Las Vegas felt like the beginning of that feedback loop. Disruptive plays build confidence, confidence builds effort, and sustained effort turns into habit. Now, let's be practical about what comes next. The coaches are going to manage Quinn's snaps so he's available in the biggest moments. You saw he played roughly half the snaps and still dominated in bursts, so the immediate plan is obvious. Use him where he moves the needle and protect him from volume wear. That's also why rotation matters for the whole front. When you can rotate fresh, explosive bodies into the gaps, you keep pressure up and you protect the depth of the unit across 4 quarters. Injury-wise, the notes from practice are encouraging. Malik Hooker went from not practicing one day to full the next, and several others like Dak Prescott, Tyler Smith, Solomon Thomas, Donovan Wilson, and Serperian Winfrey were listed as full. Clowney was limited, and yes, you'll want the exact official report on Game Week Friday, but the trend here is positive, and that matters when you're trying to sustain that trench dominance. Let me give you one last tactical and heart check. Tactically, this front gives Dallas a real plan for short yardage chaos. You can bring power, you can bull rush, or you can slide Quinn outside to force mismatches, and emotionally, having a player who elevates those around him changes late-game belief. For interaction, I want one bold prediction from you in one sentence only. Tell me your single-sentence prediction for Cowboys versus Eagles. Be bold, be concise, and I'll read the best ones in the next video. If you found this breakdown useful, please hit like right now and subscribe to help push us towards 17,000 subscribers so I can keep doing deeper film work for you. Every new subscriber actually funds more time on tape and more breakdowns.